Hey, hello and welcome to, um, this is a bit different from what I normally do. This is otherwise a podcast, and it is done with Hollow. Hello.
Hi, first time being here.
Now, this video is by no means scripted or anything. This is, there's no gameplay, nothing special about this. Maybe a bit of background music, but this is just us talking about the most random things. I mean, we're going to try to stick to a subject, but more or less, he wanted to do a podcast with me, and I thought, you know what, why not? Why not? So, you can just put this on in the background. Unless I guess you want to watch our
Yeah,
Discord icons.
just basically highlight and unhighlight. Yeah, it's not thrilling, but we will have interesting things to talk about. Subjects may change depending on the video, may not depending if we have too many ideas to fit into a video. If that makes sense.
Yeah, no,
As I talk a god awful amount, so feel free to ridicule me for that in the comments. Oh,
yeah, I don't even think I'll be making
well,
cuts in the footage itself. Unless, maybe there's glitchy audio.
yeah, no. The only time for that is glitchy audio. The only time for that is glitchy audio. Not very glitch, it's just glitchy audio.
Okay, so what's the first thing you want to talk about for our podcast?
Specifically Bonetale and our collective thoughts on the update. You've already made a video airing your thoughts, but I want to talk
Okay.
about
Now
mine.
here's the thing about that video. There's some things that I wish I talked about, but I didn't because, um, for one thing, the video it wasn't even supposed to be half an hour long, but it ended up being 40 minutes long. And now I realize after the video was edited that maybe I should have pushed myself a bit more because there's a few things that I left out that I wished I talked about, especially in the Frisk segment. But I'll let you go first.
So, that update. Oh, hang on, give me literally just a second.
Here you go. Here's a second.
Uh,
I don't want it. You can have it.
I heard a joke when I was fixing my Bluetooth.
What about your other colored teeth?
Okay. Going back to going back onto the subject at hand. Now I've had time to actually play around with the update myself and actually try a few things. It is cool. I like what they did with Papyrus and the spare feature. I like the tankiness of Asgore. I like how, well, Undyne's Undyne. I don't really know if much has changed. Horrified by
I
Kara in general.
I do have a list of changes
Yeah.
between every version. I've actually kept track of that. I think it's in my scripted document, which I still have, by the way.
Oh, neat.
hmm
I think the update is good for what it is. A thing I will say, I do wish Hey Kara was, although implemented differently on mobile.
Now, you see, the thing about that is, I talked to Wallone himself a few days ago. I got actual contact with him, the developer, and I asked him about it. He didn't say much, but what he did say is that he removed it, but he doesn't remember why he did, likely because of bugs. And he said that while
Oh,
he didn't have plans to add it back, he should. However, he can't promise anything, and quite frankly, I was very intrigued by that response.
I don't blame him. I mean, he has a lot to work with, so I won't blame him for it.
He's just a fella, along with, of course, his
Yeah,
sprite
he's
artist.
just a fella. One thing I will say, it would be funny if like there was like a version of his skin, but it was in like the sort of shape of Sans in the game,
Okay,
or like Kara.
Well, I
So you
mean,
could have Roland, Sans, and Kara.
well, there is the Wallone skin itself. You can just be Walloned.
Yeah. But
And
I'm like
also,
trying to think, well, could you be a chibi Roland?
okay, now, I can't prove this by any means, but I'm convinced that either Walloned is a simp for Undyne, or someone paid him to make the body pillow.
I'm tempted to say that Roland is a simp, considering one of the developers has him but sunglasses and is completely buff.
Now, to continue on that, I'm pretty sure, like, the cherry weapon was made, like, for Merg. I can't tell.
For yeah.
Um,
But at that point, I have to raise the question: is he beating with his child at that point?
the
Growing his
cherry is not
children?
alive.
What's the concept?
And actually, I think there's two
Are you
cherries.
sure?
I mean,
There's two cherries. I've only seen one.
can I pull up
But then again,
1.6 to prove that? Post a screenshot.
I mean, you could do, but
I could, but I won't. And this is funny too because going back to Undyne, one okay, so the comment I pinned, it was Lloyd, and he said you should have eaten the pillow. And I just pinned it because I thought it was funny. But then there was another comment that said that Wallone has practically just made Undyne overpowered, and I guess that almost kind of emphasizes the idea that maybe he simps for her, but I digress. I think that is just pure coincidence.
maybe, yeah, no. Yeah. Though I will say there are a few things that I would like to see implemented, as you know, to Bonetale. It doesn't have to be implemented, but it would be cool if it was implemented. And one of those things is like a story mode.
Oh,
As I have
please,
said.
please, please tell about this one.
Right, so a while back when I first got back into Bonetale, I was
And then
preaching about the idea that
And then you
it would
sense
be a good
me.
it would yeah, like a concept like around this segment. But essentially it evolves around that your power is based on the LV bar, which is its own thing in a story mode. So yes, some levels will be easier, but it's the story mode, so it's necessary. And one of the few things I thought about when thinking about the story mode is, wouldn't it be cool if there was a free roam option, kind of thing?
Well,
So you could free roam between the maps as you progress the story. Because I will say the art style for Bonetale is beautiful.
wouldn't that just be
I
like
mean, feel free
Wallone
to pull up
making
the
one
map.
giant map?
No, just basically do the transition between the home screen to like the selection screen, but have it between maps as you go to like certain exits. For example, how like you saw like the Judgment Hall has like two different exits, but it's not on either side of the screen like it is for, say, Snowden or Waterfall. But it's like it's on the top. So if you go to the side, go to the actual door, then go up, the screen fades to black, and you go to basically the prior area of whatever map that is.
Okay. I think that's actually an
And
interesting
through this,
idea.
you can like access different boss fights. So essentially, story mode has different stories as well.
Would boss fights work?
So
Or just fights in general?
like boss fights for now, I think, since there's not a lot of characters, but hopefully fights in general.
How would Wallone AI for you to fight Papyrus?
I don't know, but I'm pretty sure if he can AI for Kara to throw something at you, he can AI for Papyrus to throw something at you.
It'd be a bit trickier.
True, but then that's just like it's throwing more things with a cooldown.
Now, okay, I just want to throw this joke out right now. If I had a nickel for every time I met a pumpkin-headed profile picture man who spoke 2 languages that made an incredible Undertale alternate universe, I'd have 2 nickels, which isn't much, but it's weird that it happened twice.
Amnesianator? No, I think I'd remember if I made one of those.
Behold! The Nerfinator! When I press this button, suddenly the character you play will be significantly weaker!
Oh, poor Kara.
Now, okay, I
Or
will talk
Crystal.
about that, but I want you to finish your story mode.
Right, so going back to the story mode topic, sorry. Yeah, so my thought was opposed to it. Imagine the system of when you go into the main game play. You go into a level, and then there are these levels to it. Well, for story mode, it's similar to that. Essentially, you go into story mode, and there are multiple stories, however many Rolands can think of creating, and this can open a concept to story-specific characters that you can unlock to use in the gameplay. And with it, there's also more levels, essentially. So it's the same across the board, same amount of chapters with each level, still gets harder, yada yada.
I did not know you were
But
Yiddish.
essentially, it's like opposed to it saying easy, medium, hard, and demonic, it's different chapters of the story. And like each level is a section of that story.
Okay,
And free roam, you can shoot. What that does is it has it so you don't have to go through the main menu into the whole, how it works now is once you beat a level, you go to the main menu where you have to then reopen another menu just to get to that menu. When with story mode, free roam basically eliminates that. You still can do it, but it's only if you basically leave the game or complete it. Quintessentially, literally just it's optional. I do think having a setting for free roam would also benefit for those who don't want free roam. Which I know that will be difficult because it's turning off a huge part of the game.
Okay. You know
But
what?
I think for a beautiful game like Bonetale, that will heavily benefit it.
You know what I think Wallone needs to implement?
Go ahead.
The ability to access the shop while you're on the waiting screen for multiplayer so that you can change the map without having to leave and rejoin the server. Especially for the person who just
Yeah.
wants to change their cosmetics.
Yes. Yes, I so agree with that.
And, technically I can multiplayer 1.4.2 and 1.5.2, but Asgore I have to wait until 1.6.3. So, it is what it is.
I will say though, story mode just when I imagine story mode, I imagine it opens a lot of possibility. And again, Bonetale is a beautiful game. Like, remember when I showed you that Judgment Hall map?
Well, I mean, quite frankly, I had seen it myself prior, but yes.
It is beautiful, isn't it?
Yep.
So
now,
I think
You've talked
Also,
about...
the map used for Undyne in your video, that was also another beautiful map. I think if there was a form
Okay.
of free roam where you could just explore the map, that would be cool.
Okay, so the thing about the map I used, I wanted to use the Waterfall 1 map because 1, the lighting helped, and 2, for clarity, visual clarity, because for the most part I stuck with the base skins and maps and music just for clarity purposes, except for a couple instances where I got bored. But,
Yeah.
like, I already forgot what I was saying. But yeah, the Waterfall 1 map, I could not unlock it whatsoever. I was doing its task, it would say, you unlocked it, but it would not give it to me. And so I couldn't use it. So I used Waterfall 2 for all of Undyne. And, you know, for the most part... For the most part, you can just see... You can see the map. And now, yeah, I did use Unlock All after I had finished getting footage for the video, but I wanted to seem as though I was doing a full-on new and more or less legitimate run because, you know, if I could actually beat the campaign with every character, then I probably would have taken the extra mile by going over unlock challenges. But, again, I had a time frame and I didn't want the video to be that long. And so I never dedicated a segment to that.
That is fair, yeah.
Now, do tell me, you've talked about, like, the mechanics for story mode, but what about, like, how the actual story itself plays out?
So imagine, like,
is there a different story per character?
This gives you a chance to either play as basically it forces you into a set character and you cannot change it even if you go into the main menu. It forces you to play that character either to unlock it or for the story itself. You cannot change your character because that's the story. So, like, normal Undertale, for example, it has the sprites for that, or something for Underfell. This can allow for, say, unlocking an Underfell Asgore skin.
Malone, my friend, please, please, please add Underfell Asgore.
Yeah, please. Honestly, please. He is such a cool skin.
Oh, I need to send you the animation by Mr. Meme Guy. That Asgore video is beautiful. Like, I had Kat watch it, and she didn't have much to say. She mostly said it was cool, but also, like, she had no idea how she would survive the attacks. And quite frankly, I don't see myself surviving most of that either.
I don't see myself surviving Toriel. Just base Toriel.
Like, in normal Undertale or Underfell?
Both.
Pull a Jacksepticeye and die to Toriel, the monster that stops targeting you after some point.
Wait, really?
If your health is low enough, her fireballs will purposefully avoid you. And Toby Fox reused this mechanic for the Lancer fight with Susie in the dungeons in Chapter 1.
Yeah, I remember that. But I also remember there is a small secret to do with that. Going off topic again, I know, but did you know that if you get damaged by one of those fireballs, Toriel will actually gasp because she didn't intend to kill you?
At the frame right before your heart shatters.
Yeah.
And
right before your heart shatters, she gasps because it's like,
I wasn't meant to do
oh
that.
Dear, I broke my favorite thing.
Gaster's the next character.
He already shut my game down. I don't know how I feel about him being an actual character. Like, how would that work? Will he just stare into my soul as I play as him?
Listen, I had no idea how they would implement Flowey as a properly functioning character, yet they did. And his playstyle, it's not only really fun, but it's actually pretty good. Like, that shows enough. I think they can do it.
I think though it's also worth noting that Gaster, you
Also-
can reskin Flowey's vines to be Gaster's hands, so I don't know if
Yes.
that will
Now-
carry over.
The other thing though is that I'm pretty sure a couple of Gaster's attacks are already in the custom character maker.
Yeah, so one of the custom Gaster attacks that I've noticed is
The hand
actually
grab.
one of the passives. If you
Oh,
attack,
yeah, that. If you
the
hit them enough,
play-
then wingdings appear over them, and after 5 hits, the wingdings like fall and hit them.
yeah,
That's like it feels like a League of Legends passive. Like I want to say a 3-hit passive.
a 3-hit passive
Okay,
and
so
run.
I guess I'll give an example. Like let's see. So there's Diana. Every third auto attack deals area of effect splash damage with bonus damage. But you know, the third attack is within
cool.
quick succession. If that makes sense.
Yeah.
But like when Asgore was announced, I thought Toria would be the next character, and again, I'm happy I was wrong. And I am very, very much excited for Gaster. I actually wonder if he's gonna follow the Asgore principle of just having a staring contest, or if he's gonna have dialogue that I have to translate.
Imagine if he just vanishes and the game ends.
It just doesn't show up to the fight. Also, I wonder if Wallone would add a map for Gaster.
Yeah.
That'd be cool. Or he probably intends
the
for it to be
void.
the true lab.
Imagine the void room though.
Yeah. And like his
Yeah.
followers appear, similar to how the amalgamates do.
Yeah, it's like, stop hitting him, he's our master.
Have you ever wondered or imagined a world that is perfectly the same except you don't exist? The thought terrifies me, haha. Or something like that.
I have actually similar dialogue. I imagine similar dialogue, but here's what I imagine. Okay. So here's the dialogue I imagine for Gaster. You have killed them all, haven't you? Slaughtered all my children.
Wait, what children?
We will. Well, I mean, he's literally the only other skeleton.
Is he a skeleton? Can we prove that? Like, there's similarities, but Toby won't say anything.
Yes, I can prove that. Look at his eye sockets.
And also he does speak in a different font.
Yes, like Papyrus, or Comic Sans, or Wingdings.
Well, papyrus is like parchment, like paper, you write on it. I don't know what Papyrus's actual font is.
No, it's literally how he talks.
It-
Their dialogue boxes are their respective fonts, I think.
Okay, Google.
So type up Papyrus
Is
word font.
Papyrus a font? Papyrus font is a God damn it, you're right. Alright. You proved me
Yeah.
wrong.
I used Papyrus. I know what I'm talking about. I used it in Word once.
Okay. You have me beat there. Go on.
And believe it or not. So again, going with the dialogue. You slaughtered my children, haven't you?
Of all things, why did...
See the dust emanating off of you.
Wait.
I will build a better world, one
Wait.
without you.
Okay,
Cut to gameplay.
okay, of all things, why does he only care that his children are dead and not the rest of the monsters?
Okay, I'll put in perspective. If I was Gaster, I'd cut out 2 holes in my hands just to have these weaklings created. who are either subpar to my knowledge or
And
just
plates.
too damn lazy to get things done.
And plates. And
I
plates.
found I got forgotten, and so these are the only legacy I have, and that doesn't prove my existence. And I meant to just not care about the only thing I've created. Do you see how that sounds? Yeah, like, why would he, but why wouldn't he?
No, no, like, well, he's only explicitly mentioning them. Like, oh no, you killed everyone else. I don't care.
Well, to be fair, why would he? I mean, he's degraded over time.
But if he's degraded, then why would he still care about them too?
He's a scientist, he'll probably see them as inventions and nothing else. I think the sentiment is you killed his inventions, and now you're facing the creator of his inventions. So I think it would be more akin for him to say, the dust of my inventions reek on your clothes.
Now this
your
is
knife is
nice.
tainted with their magic.
Now you see, this is
You now
weird
face
because,
their
like,
creator.
when they, I think I saw on the Dimax, it's Dimax or Diamax, but on his
I think
Deviant,
it's Dimax. That's how I say it.
there's actually
Dimax.
a alternative Flowey skin, that I saw, and
What is it? Is it
I don't know,
just
it's like
someone
whitish
losing
blue.
water?
It's like very white and blue. It looks so cool, but in terms of Gaster, how do you make skins for Gaster? Because I can only think of two possible things he can add. One is a Gaster that looks like a reformed man, like a scientist, and then two is X-Gaster. But past that, like, we don't have a lot of variations of Gaster. He, like,
You could do hand plates, Gaster. That's a pretty cool
that more or
Gaster.
less just goes
I
to
don't
the
like
first one
him,
I
but
mentioned.
he does have a cool design. Especially in the videos I saw, he had like a white flame covering his head because he was forgotten.
Well, yes, I reacted to the entire comic series, and like, again, that was more or less the idea I was saying with the first one I was talking about. But I just plain and simple, I'm excited now. I don't know how long it takes Wallone to make a character because as far as things go, Flowey was added in 1.5, and then Frisk was reworked in the next patch. So, not to mention, he also added the Sans with hair. So, I don't know what
Yeah, it
Wallone's
was an
schedule
interesting
is
character.
or how fast it takes for him to make or rework a character. So, with that in mind, I almost feel like maybe, just maybe, we might actually get Gaster before 1.7. Like, maybe we'll get him in 1.6.2 or even on the multiplayer updates. I do not know. And speaking of multiplayer,
I will.
You first.
Yeah, I do miss multiplayer.
Now, it makes sense why he can't have it immediately. Like, it's the initial patch, and it makes sense why he released it in, I don't want to say an unfinished state, but yeah, there's a lot of bugs. Yeah, it's just been a while as is.
Literally, one of the gripes I have, even though it's small, it is a gripe. I have the Gaster mouth in the custom. Oh my word, it is a nightmare to work with.
Yeah, because on the front side it goes down to like his jaw, but then on the sides it's like raised up.
Yeah, it's like perfect on the sides, but on the jaw it is god awful. And I only knew this was the issue because I looked at the actual Gaster model on Frisk whilst she was passive. I had to make Frisk passive and basically force her to look down to see that, oh wait, something's wrong here. Oh, it was wrong. So it was like, oh wow, this is why I have such trouble creating anything with this mouth. Because every other mouth is consistent, but this mouth is anything but. Imagine like telling 3 kids to go forward. And they go forward, but the middle kid only goes forward like by 1 pixel. That's quintessentially what this is, and it's been so irritating to work with that mouth to the point some characters that had that mouth, I had to get rid of. I mean, I made a pretty decent Gaster sprite you saw.
No, you really did. Like, it looked... Honestly, it looked better than the actual model that we have.
Yeah. But the problem was the damn mouth. I couldn't play with that model because even though I poured blood, sweat, and tears into it, not literally, it was the mouth that irritated me because I'd basically have a mouth that's like perfect, but I'd have the sides of the mouth going into the eyeballs, so you couldn't see it.
I played around with the abilities a bit more than the actual skin editor, although I've still made a few, but not remotely as many as you. I've actually bothered trying to find a definitive ability set and stats to beat the campaign legitimately without, going overboard or cheating in any way. And this also includes not using just excessively strong abilities, like just giving yourself all of Asgore's super spells as your basic abilities.
I will say, even if you give yourself the super spells as basic abilities, they have a heavy cooldown.
Well, yeah.
So even then, it's like it wouldn't be effective because the cooldown is there.
Yep. I will say the budget you have feels a little small, but at the same time, I find it cool that you can actually give yourself more energy by giving yourself debuffs.
Wait, really? Oh yeah, that's cool.
Yeah.
I really like the idea that if you stand still long enough, you can regain more energy faster. And I gave my character so much energy, it basically is abysmal. And okay, a thing to note is bad time mode basically completely drains it, but a glitch happens where your energy doesn't deplete. So the initial bad time mode basically eliminates almost all my energy, but then it drains the rest at a normal pace, which is abysmal.
Okay.
So then I go to stand still to regain the energy, and over time, yeah, sure enough, it just gets faster. Like, it is absurd how OP the actual thing is.
I mean, why do you think my strategy for the majority of the Sans campaign is to just stand in the corner and then spam the same 2 spells over and over again?
Yeah, no, that's fair. That's what I did. And it worked.
Until it stops working, and then you're forced to either turn down the difficulty or adapt and overcome.
Yeah, no, I had to turn down the difficulty. Also, I would like to raise a question. What is that badge on mobile that you get on demonic mode with Sans?
I'm pretty sure that's just a rank of you beat this at a certain within a certain time frame, so that's like S rank. Or maybe it's just saying that you beat the campaign. I don't know, but
definitely not saying that you've beat the campaign, otherwise I would have that on every...
That's fair. And...
Although I didn't beat it on every skin and character, so that's fair enough, actually.
Now, the thing about, like, the difficulty setting... I didn't actually discover the difficulty setting until I was making the Frisk segment, like after I had played and recorded a bit. However, and I put this in the disclaimer, I decided to stay on medium mode because I should not have to tone down the difficulty to make the game possible, but as far as I know, you can, in fact, beat demonic mode with Undyne. I just need to adjust my strategy a little for hard 3. You can do it with Frisk, technically, so there must be something I'm missing. Or maybe it's just hard mode that I have to learn how to get past, but I don't know. But as far as I know,
do wish that Kara was an instant kill.
Papyrus is just downright impossible from what I know.
Yeah, no, there's no way you're doing that.
Like,
the speed of Kara basically makes the speed loss of the spaghetti abysmal, and you have to charge to place them.
Okay, no, well, that's not it though, because Papyrus actually has really high base movement speed. It's not necessarily outrunning that's the problem. I could manage that fine. It's the fact that Papyrus's energy doesn't last 10 minutes now. It lasts like 2 minutes or a minute and a half. But also, Kara just destroys everything he does against her. Like, she destroys the bones, the spaghetti, she shuts off the blue soul. Like, what do you do? So, it's, like, it... And of course she does catch up eventually, there's that. But even then, you can technically, just dodge through her and, spin her to be dizzy. And you can actually dodge through the ranged slash, I learned, which I find interesting.
Hey, remember when Gaster jumped halfway up the Judgment Hall and we both screamed for our lives?
I believe you screamed, I was just confused.
Yeah, no, I was horrified. I was like, what the heck? Why is Gaster so agile? He doesn't even have legs.
Are you sure he wasn't just flying?
True, was he flying? Or was he just farting really hard, like the BFG? No. I do think overall, though, Bonetale, it is a good game. I just think there are certain things that should be added, like, again, story mode, free roam. Well, just overall, a lot of stuff should be added.
As far as... Yeah, there's a lot of stuff I would love to see added. I would love to see more Deltarune skins, like Noelle, Birdly, Queen, even Rules Card, Lancer, Chaos King. I'd love to see that. Jevil, Spamton. That'd be fun. Underfell Asgore, and this next one is more of a personal one, but Shift Falcara.
I was thinking about that. I would like to actually see, and this may sound weird, but I think this is actually, I think Undervirus is actually a very, like, it's basically a forgotten AU at this point. No one even references it, but it is an existing AU. There's even a Shift Kara variant, and I'd like to see Shift Kara actually implemented.
Now this is...
Because arguably Shift Kara for like Undervirus is arguably more forgotten than Undervirus itself.
Now this is so random, but for some reason, the Kara base model isn't in the shop of 1.6. Like, if you want to be the base form of Kara, you have to play as Frisk and turn into Kara. You can't just reskin yourself as her from the get-go.
Well, you can, you just have to use custom.
I'm not using custom.
No, if you use a if you go onto the vessel and then don't do anything with the abilities, that just reskins you. Weird as that is, it just reskins you.
Well then, now I need to talk about the Frisk segment of my video, because you see, the problem with it is I painted 1.5 as some kind of game killer, when in reality the update or the rework itself really wasn't that bad. It just needed some numbers adjustments, because Frisk was incredibly undertuned, so it was impossible to beat easy level 2 because you were just way too slow. It was as if you were already on medium mode. Now, in the footage, I wasn't actually using the save star, but come 1.5.2, there's the little stat adjustments, and then suddenly they're a lot more playable. And between 1.5.2 and 1.6, the main changes is... So in 1.5.2, once you fill up your determination meter, you can technically hold shift into Kara and then suicide to become her directly. But also, the other thing is that she keeps the damage scaling, so across forms you still get increased damage, so you can still get one shot if you have Nightmare Kara, but in 1.6 they remove the damage scaling. You can't shift into Kara, you have to die. And also, I believe they added the special effects on dashing when you turn into Kara for 1.6, which admittedly that's an upgrade, but again, I think 1.5.2 was actually a really good middle ground because while in 1.4 they were strong, their gameplay was very monotonous and one-sided. The rework, it definitely made it a lot better and more fun, but again, at first the numbers were just too low and it seemed like it killed the character, which is what I painted it as, regrettably. In 1.5.2, I actually think that was the best version. And 1.6, while it's kind of an upgrade, it doesn't click with me fully. Like, again, there's a part of me that just... I really like being able to have my scaling damage in one shot, so... You know, to say the least, despite I said I prefer the 1.4 Kara, because the video was directed on talking about 1.6, and I had already spent enough time talking about previous versions, I skipped over 1.5.2, which ultimately it actually was my favorite iteration, and so, you know, I regret just not saying anything.
Yeah, no, that's fair. That is fair.
Yeah,
I will say,
should have talked about it.
One character I would like added and this is just the most likely character that's possibly going to be added. And you feel free to like do something to say anything about this, but I think like it's the Royal Guard dog couple in Undertale.
Dogami and Doggeressa. What about them?
Yeah, them. I would like to see them added as characters. Or as a character. Basically, I want to see more sprite characters in the actual game.
Now, I'm gonna make a prediction.
And you get bosses that fight in pairs.
I'm gonna make a prediction. Now, after Gaster, like, chances are it's gonna be between Toriel, Azriel, Muffet, and Metaton. I think he's gonna do Azriel next. I could be wrong, but I just feel like he's gonna do Azriel next. Otherwise, maybe it might be Toriel, I don't know. But
I'm a wonder if it's gonna be Muffet.
Whatever happened to the meme Metaton Neo skin? Because in previous versions, there was this like very funny version of Metaton Neo that you could equip, and it said that you know, you could equip it as like a playable character in the future, but that just never happened. So it's weird to say the least. Like, the sprite is still there, but it doesn't... I don't think it says the thing about it being playable.
Oh. Well, I mean, you can still make it a playable character, but I mean, it's like, you have to do custom for that.
Well, yeah, but... like, you won't have the specific designated attacks. Now, you might be able to reskin, but...
it will never be the same, yeah.
I am not going to elaborate on this, but I shook hands with the Pumpkin Man.
You shook hands with Roland.
Not literally. And it's Waloned.
Waloned.
Yeah.
Oh. So I respect you want to elaborate on this, so I won't pester you on it.
I mean, you can ask, but I'm not going to answer.
I hope you are aware I will pester myself about this.
That's fair.
and I'll probably make a correct guess at some point after like numerous bad guesses.
Or we just forget altogether and then it happens in a few months or so. 'Cause he said before the end of the year.
Joey, did you have a skin added or a character added? Did
No,
you
no,
pay?
no. That's right, Wallone made a post saying you can pay him to add a custom attack, skin, or even a full-on character, and that'll appear in the credits, yeah.
I am kinda disappointed because I cannot do that.
Well, for one thing,
Otherwise I
the thing is
would.
though, like, you have to pay in rubles, and that is a currency I use the US dollar.
And I use the UK pound sign, so even then it's like none of us can get it done. But you shook hands with this man, so both of you came to an agreement of some sort. I know that much.
Yep.
And judging by the fact you're making a guess on what character's added next,
No,
it
no,
isn't
no.
actually character related.
No, no, no. Now, regardless of the fact that Gaster gets added next, hopefully Disbelief Papyrus returns soon. And, again, meme Metaton Neo.
I'll be honest, I never thought much of it disappearing. I always viewed it as pretty much just a skin.
You need to use that skin and look at the funny walking animation.
I really don't want to because it's like
It's so silly and I love it.
fair enough. I wonder if they'll ever add like a Glitchtail Papyrus skin. Glitchtail Papyrus, even though Glitchtail is a dog water universe, and I'm not saying this to be hateful, it's just matter of fact. It's dog water. Deal with it.
I'm kind of struggling to see.
Papyrus look though is awesome. I will say I like how his scarf and his shirt look.
I mean, me personally, I feel as though I see a lack of differences, methinks, but it what it is.
So there is it's more the differences in the final season with Papyrus.
The final season. Okay, listen, I have never watched anything past season 2, and I won't.
I mean, I say final season, I mean the season where Gaster basically says, you know what, I'm a Saiyan from Dragon Ball now, I'm just gonna go Super Saiyan.
Well, that'll just be season 2 then.
Yes, season 2. So season 2, Papyrus has the biggest difference in his character change. And I actually like that character change. I kind of like the idea of a more casual wear Papyrus. I also like the red eye he has. It's unique to that universe, and I actually like it opposed to the orange eye he's usually associated with.
I am going to avoid saying anything about Glitchtail, as, you know, I don't like, I'm not the biggest fan of it, and quite frankly, I don't even like Camila, but I should probably refrain from saying anything for that matter.
Why?
Just because I have a significant lack of positive things to say.
Yeah, no, that is fair. I have some positive things to say, but it's overshadowed by the negative things myself. I'll shorten it down to this. If you can't use your own talent for your own story, then don't do anything with it. Because by God, it was terrible. Like, I watched glitch tail gas to power up, and I was like, huh, this looks an awful lot like Goku going to Super Saiyan Blue Kaioken. It was so starkly similar. The context was different, and story-wise it was terrible, but the fight scenes were actually decent, but that's because they're from other good things, like anime, which are original.
Yeah, I'm still going to refrain from speaking.
Yeah, no, that's fair. Plus, we're talking about Bonetale, so let's not get hung up on it. I would like it if mobile had like a sort of menu in the center of the screen at the top of it, where you could go to the main menu.
Is this because of the fact that I can hit the escape key to go to the menu while you can't?
Yeah, I have nothing to go to the main menu, so I can't do anything with that. So if I wanted to stop a fight, well, I'd have to either die or I'd have to kill the character. So it's like, I can't just stop the game if I want to. I have to actually continue it, unless I like literally turn off the game.
Point made. Well then. I've gotten a couple comments saying how I didn't show the little JoJo's Bizarre Adventure Easter egg, and I remember seeing that. I don't know why I forgot to include that. I don't know why. Like, it's
The
not
cool
a...
thing about them is that
it's...
basically is the closest you're going to get in this update to a secondary sprite, unless you painstakingly do it in the custom creator.
Well,
Good luck with that.
well, no, but have you encountered the Easter egg yourself? It also...
Yes, I have used it.
crashes the game, even.
Oh, I've just used it in like the slashes, and it hasn't crashed the game.
Oh, no. Okay, my friend, you have. So you need to equip,
Oh! It just happened! So, what happened was Vampire Kara used the steamroller on Frisk and then stopped time and then killed me.
Yeah.
That was funny. That was actually really cool. And
Yeah.
keep this in the video. I am really proud of Roland for that inclusion.
Well,
that was really cool.
yeah.
I didn't see the whole thing. I basically walked over, saw Frisk exploding, then saw Kara time stop.
I wished
What got
I
me was
had
I saw
included it
Frisk and Kara.
in the Bonetale, the complete Bonetale 16 review. Okay, now only one person actually noticed this in the comments, but if you look at the thumbnail, it doesn't say version 1.6, it says version 16.
That's fun.
In the description, I left an hour's worth of footage of just opening crates, and someone said I'm gonna use this as background sounds.
Do it. Let's talk about past versions of Bonetale. I found it funny that. So remember when we used to do multiplayer and I would just spam Undyne's things, like her spears, and it was like impossible to block.
I actually don't remember that, no.
Oh, yeah, no. We'd go into multiplayer and you'd be whatever character you were, and I was Undyne and I'd green soul you, and then I'd just spam yellow spears. I think at some point you actually got good at blocking a majority of them, because I remember vaguely saying, "How?"
Well, it's like as far as old versions go, I started playing in 1.3, and Disbelief Papyrus, you see, he had this funny bug where when you changed into Sans, you could infinitely scale movement speed to just fly across the map at high speeds. Just go from one side of the screen
Oh,
to the other with ramping movement speed. And then it got patched. I believe he was disabled in 1.4, brought back in 1.5, and now he's currently disabled again. But
oh,
in 1.5, he actually has phases instead of just one move set, like in 1.3.
neat.
In 1.3, Undyne, she actually had Yellow Spears as a basic ability. Like, you couldn't only do that in Green Soul, you did that just normally. And I think that was still the
Oh,
case for... Was that the case for 1.4? I don't think so. I could be wrong. But having Yellow Spears as a basic ability was really awkward. Like, it works a lot better only in Green Soul.
it would be. Do you know what I think would be cool? It would be cool if you could actually roam like a certain map for the home screen. Like when the game opens up and you're roaming a map and you can choose, and the sections are like these different shops in Snowdon that you had to walk to.
It would be cool if the main menu screen matches the current map you have selected.
Yes. Please, for the love of all that is ever gonna be good in this world, Roland, add Fel Asgore, please. Fel Asgore, it is a necessity.
No. The Mr. Meme version, the Mr. Meme guy version. Like,
Yes.
have you seen that
Mr.
video though?
Meme Fel Asgore, add him, please. Not just as like a skin, but as an actual character.
But I, let me just get 5,000 rubles and pay him to make that. Let me just go to
I,
Russia.
yeah, definitely. Add in Fel Asgore, specifically the Mr. Meme guy one, or whatever the guy's name is.
Oh, dude, like Asgore, as we know him in Undertale and Deltarune, he has like a dad bod. In in the Underfell video of Mr. Meme Guy, like holy hell, he is ripped. Like he's trying to impress Toriel with that bod.
Well, I don't know if he is, considering that Phil Asgore is a complete and utter douche to all the monsters because his son died, so.
No. It was because Kara died and then he lashed out at Asriel and then he's like then he gets mad at everyone.
Well, my son's not here to be mad at. Well, there are the monsters.
And my
There's the worst
wife.
that can happen. And then Gandalf the Great, and
Gandalf the White, and Monty Python and the Holy Grail's Black Knight, and Benito Mussolini, and the Blue Meanie, and Cowboy Curtis, and Zombie the Genie, Robocop the Terminator, Captain Kirk, Darth Vader, Lopan, Superman, every single Power Ranger, Bill, Les Preston, and Theodore Logan, Spock the Rock, Doc Ock, and Hulk Logan, all came out of nowhere lightning fast, and they kicked stupid Jevil in his clown ass.
that's it. That's the outro.
Yes.
That's the outro.
Alright, I'll stop it there.